All right, let's jump right in. Today we're tackling Megaliving, 30 Days to a Perfect Life by Robin Sharma, a total life transformation in 30 days. Sounds pretty ambitious, right?
Well, the idea of perfect might be a little much, but Sharma's not just talking about like the usual stuff, money, fame, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I get that. It's more about like reaching your full potential, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Tapping into this potential that, that we all have, but often don't use. It's like we've all had those moments where we feel like we could be doing more. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Like there's something holding us back.
Yeah, and Sharma's saying that we could break free of those limitations. Megaliving is about like clearing the clutter, building a solid foundation for growth.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? Is there like a magic formula?
He breaks it down into 3 pillars: mental mastery, physical mastery, and character mastery.
Okay, so it's not enough to just be like mentally sharp.
Right. It's like building a house. You need the strong foundation, the walls, the roof, it all works together.
So you need all 3 for real growth.
Exactly. Mental, physical, and character development, it's all connected.
Okay, but how do we actually start putting these pillars into practice?
That's where the 30-day challenge comes in. Think of it like a structured plan, with small actions you do every day.
Small actions, but they build up over time, right?
Right. It's about consistency, creating lasting change. No quick fixes,
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Okay, so what's a typical day look like in this Megaliving world?
Well, Sharma suggests starting your day by creating a daily blueprint.
A blueprint?
Yeah. Spend a few minutes each morning visualizing your ideal day, almost like a mental rehearsal.
So you picture how you want your day to go, like a vision board, but in your head.
Yeah. It's about setting a positive tone, visualizing yourself tackling challenges, achieving your goals. It's powerful stuff.
I can see how that would help you stay focused and motivated throughout the day.
Exactly. Sharma even gives this example about Priya, a young professional who was feeling stuck at work.
Okay, what happened to her?
She started using this visualization technique every morning, picturing herself thriving, not just surviving, at work. And she started taking more initiative, speaking up in meetings, even pitching new ideas.
So it wasn't magic, but it gave her the confidence to take action.
Exactly. It's about aligning your actions with your vision.
Makes sense. So that's just one part of this 30-day challenge.
Oh, yeah, just one piece. And it really ties into that first pillar, mental mastery.
So what exactly does Sharma mean by mental mastery? Is it just like positive thinking?
It's more than just positive thinking. It's about taking control of your mind, understanding how your thoughts influence your actions, and learning to manage them.
Like training your mind?
Yeah, like building mental muscles. Sharma compares it to physical training.
Interesting. But how do we actually train our minds?
Well, for one, be mindful of the information you're taking in.
You mean like what we're reading, watching, listening to?
Exactly. Limit the negative stuff like gossip, too much news,
So it's like being mindful of your mental diet.
Perfect analogy. Instead, focus on things that inspire you, challenge you. Sharma's a big advocate for reading, expanding your knowledge, getting new ideas.
Yeah, makes sense.
He even tells this story about a man who committed to reading 1 book a week for a whole year.
Wow. Did he actually do it?
He did. And the transformation was incredible, according to Sharma. His confidence grew, his knowledge exploded, and he felt way more motivated.
That's amazing. So even small things done consistently can lead to huge growth.
Exactly. And that's the heart of Megaliving, right?
Yeah.
Small changes, big results.
Okay, so mental mastery, check. But Sharma doesn't stop there, right? He talks about physical mastery too. What's that all about? Just hitting the gym and eating right?
It's definitely part of it, but he goes deeper. Sees the body as this powerful tool, believes that taking care of your physical well-being impacts everything else.
Okay, interesting. How so?
Well, for one thing, it builds resilience. When you push yourself physically, exercise, sleep, healthy food, all of it, you can handle challenges better.
Yeah, I feel that. When I'm run down, it's harder to deal with stress.
Exactly. And there's the energy boost too. When you fuel your body right and move it, you just have more energy for everything.
So living better, not just longer.
Exactly. And then there's the self-respect. When you prioritize your well-being, you're telling yourself you're worthy,
That makes sense.
Sharma shares this story about a CEO who was struggling, felt overwhelmed, no energy, work was suffering.
Classic burnout, right?
Yeah, rough. So what did he do?
He started running every morning, even though he could barely go a mile at first.
A CEO, and he could barely run a mile.
I know, right? But he stuck with it. And the results were amazing. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. More energy, more focus, even more confidence at work.
So the physical changes led to mental and emotional ones too.
Exactly. He went from barely running to marathons. That same discipline he built on the track, it showed up everywhere else in his life too.
That's inspiring. Shows how pushing ourselves physically can unlock all kinds of strength. Absolutely. And again, it all ties back to the three pillars. Mental, physical, character, they all work together.
This is fascinating. So we've got mental mastery, physical mastery, and then there's character mastery, right? What does Sharma say about that?
Well, character mastery, it's all about aligning your actions with your values. It's cultivating things like integrity, honesty, compassion.
That sounds tough. How do we master our character?
Well, Sharma suggests a few things like journaling, meditation, even keeping a gratitude log.
A gratitude log, what's that?
Simple, really. Each night, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Anything, big or small.
Sounds easy enough. Why is that so powerful?
By focusing on the good, you're training your mind to see abundance, not lack. It shifts your whole perspective.
So instead of dwelling on what's missing, we're appreciating what we have.
Exactly. It's a simple practice, but it can really change how you see the world and how you feel.
Okay, so we've got these 3 pillars, this 30-day challenge, all these tools. But change is hard. Even with the best intentions, it's easy to slip up. What does Sharma say about staying committed?
He's very realistic about that. He says transformation takes real commitment, discipline. It's about making a promise to yourself and keeping it.
Okay, but life gets in the way sometimes. How do we stay focused when things get tough?
Sharma talks about having a non-negotiable attitude. Your goals, they're a priority, schedule time for them, treat them seriously.
So it's about more than just willpower. It's about creating systems, routines.
Right, setting yourself up for success.
But what about those days when we just don't feel like it?
He emphasizes starting small, building momentum. He tells this story about a woman who wanted to write a book but always put it off. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, I get it.
So she decided to just write 1 page a day. That's it.
1 page, that's doable. And
By the end of 30 days, she had a whole first draft.
wow, that's incredible.
Right, small actions, big results. It's the Megaliving principle in action.
So it sounds like it's not about reaching some perfect ideal, but about becoming the best version of you, right?
Exactly. Embracing your strengths, your talents, and creating a life that truly fulfills you.
And that's something we can all do, no matter where we're starting from.
Absolutely. It's about making a commitment and taking action.
So what's one small step someone could take today to start their mega living journey?
Start with self-reflection. Ask yourself what truly matters. What are your values, your passions, the life you want to create?
Great advice. And once you're clear on that, you can start figuring out those small actions that will get you there. Maybe it's meditating. Maybe it's a gratitude journal. Maybe it's just going for a walk every day.
Right. Find what works for you and stick with it. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up, even when it's hard, and trusting the process.
Okay, so in this first part, we've covered these 3 pillars of mega living and the power of small actions, even heard some pretty inspiring stories. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this question. What small change could you commit to for the next 30 days to start unlocking your potential? Think about it.
Yeah, what change could you make to start living a more mega life? So we've talked about making change a non-negotiable part of life and how even small commitments like writing a page a day can lead to big things.
Yeah, it's really inspiring to see how those small steps can add up.
And Sharma, he really emphasizes this with a story about a woman who, she totally transformed her health just by making one small change to her routine.
Oh, I love these stories. What did she do?
She had struggled with her weight for years, tried all the diets, the exercise programs, you name it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that, trying so hard but not seeing the results.
Right. She was feeling discouraged, but then she read about the benefits of just walking, like 30 minutes a day.
Just 30 minutes, that's it.
Yeah, and that's what appealed to her. It was small, manageable, something she could fit in, no matter how busy she was.
Okay, so she committed to it. What happened?
Well, at first, not much, but she kept going day after day. And then slowly, she started noticing changes.
Like what?
More energy, her clothes fit better, and, she just felt better about herself.
It's amazing how such a small thing can have such a big impact.
It really is. Those 30 minutes, they added up. She lost weight, got healthier, and even started doing other healthy things too.
So it was more than just the physical changes, it was a change in mindset too.
Exactly. She
Yeah.
proved to herself that she could make positive changes, and that gave her the confidence to keep going.
I love that. We all have that power to make those changes one step at a time.
Absolutely. And speaking of small steps, let's talk about another tool that Sharma introduces. It's called mind conditioning.
Mind conditioning. Okay, that sounds intense. What is it?
It's about, well, shaping your thoughts and beliefs,
Yeah.
to create the life you want.
So to change our lives, we have to change our minds first.
Exactly. Mind conditioning, it's about taking control of that process, becoming aware of your thoughts, challenging the negative ones, and replacing them with positive ones.
Okay, so it's not just positive thinking, it's more active. But how do we actually do that?
There are a few techniques, like affirmations, for example.
Affirmations,
Yeah.
like.
Short positive statements you repeat to yourself, to reinforce those positive beliefs. Like if you're struggling with confidence, you might say, I am strong and capable.
I've heard of those, but do they really work?
The key is to use them with intention and to be consistent. It's not just about saying the words, it's about feeling them, believing them.
So it's about aligning your thoughts and your feelings.
Exactly. And another technique is visualization. We talked about this with Priya, but it's more than just picturing your goals.
Okay, so what else is involved?
Engage all your senses, Imagine yourself in that situation you want. Feel the emotions, hear the sounds, even smell the scents.
Wow, so it's like a fully immersive experience, but in your mind.
Exactly. The more real it feels, the more it can impact your subconscious.
So you're basically programming your mind for success.
That's the idea. The more you practice these techniques, affirmations, visualization, the more you can reshape your thoughts and beliefs and create the life you want.
This is all part of mental mastery, right?
It is. It all ties together,
Yeah.
Mental, physical, character.
Okay, so we've got mental mastery, physical mastery, and this idea of mind conditioning. And through it all, it's these small, consistent actions that lead to big results.
That's the core message, for sure.
It makes you wonder, if we can do so much with small steps, what could we achieve if we really pushed ourselves? Does Sharma talk about that, going beyond our comfort zones?
He does. He calls it the 20-80 principle. Focus 80% of your energy on the 20% of activities that give you the biggest results.
So figuring out what's really important and prioritizing those things.
Exactly. Be strategic. Focus on what really moves the needle.
But how do we know which activities are part of that 20%?
That's where self-reflection comes in. What are your goals, your values? How are you spending your time?
So taking a step back, making sure we're using our energy wisely.
Right. And that often means getting out of your comfort zone, trying new things, learning new skills, maybe even letting go of things that aren't serving you anymore.
That can be scary, but also exciting. That's where growth happens, right?
Absolutely. Sharma says growth can be uncomfortable. It's about stretching yourself, facing your fears, embracing the unknown.
So it's not about being comfortable, it's about growing.
Exactly. And when you embrace that and focus on those high-impact actions, even if they're tough, you can really accelerate your progress.
Okay, so we've got the 20-80 principle, pushing ourselves. It's not just self-improvement, it's transformation.
That's a great way to put it. Becoming the best version of you, not just for yourself, but for the world around you.
And that brings us back to character mastery, right? What does it really mean to build that strong character?
Well, it's aligning your actions with your values, developing qualities like integrity, honesty, compassion, perseverance, all of that.
Those are great, but they also seem kind of vague. How do we actually develop those things? Are we born with them, or can we learn them?
Sharma believes we can cultivate them through effort and practice. He suggests things like journaling, for example.
Journaling, okay.
Yeah, take time to reflect on your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. It helps you become more self-aware, see where you might need to grow.
So being more mindful of our choices.
Exactly. And meditation is another great tool. It helps you develop self-control, patience, compassion.
So those are for inner work, but what about how we treat others?
That's a big part of it too. Sharma says, be kind, respectful, empathetic. Listen actively. Be forgiving. Always strive to be your best self around others.
So character mastery isn't just about personal growth. It's about contributing to the world, too.
Exactly. It's recognizing that your actions have an impact, that you can make a difference by being a good person.
We've covered a lot: mental mastery, physical mastery, character mastery, small actions, pushing ourselves, mind conditioning.
And we've seen how these ideas work in real life through those stories Sharma shares.
This has been fascinating, but before we go on, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind. We're talking about personal growth, self-improvement, but does that make us selfish? Is there a risk of becoming too focused on ourselves?
That's a great question, and Sharma actually talks about that. He says true personal growth isn't about being self-centered. It's about expanding your capacity to love, connect, and contribute to the world.
So it's not about withdrawing from the world, but about using our growth to be more engaged.
Exactly. As we become more self-aware, more disciplined, more compassionate, we naturally become more giving, more loving, more committed to making a positive difference.
I love that it's not self versus others, it's recognizing that they're connected.
That's it. And Sharma even says that true fulfillment comes not just from achieving your own goals, but from helping others achieve theirs.
So it's not about what we get, it's about what we give.
Exactly. And by living our values, building that strong character, always striving to be better, we create this ripple effect of positivity that goes way beyond ourselves.
This has been so insightful. We've gone deep into these pillars, talked about small actions, pushing boundaries, mind conditioning.
And there's still more to uncover.
I know. Before we move on, though, I want to leave our listeners with a question.
Okay, what is it?
We've talked about Megaliving as this 30-day challenge, but what's even more exciting is that it's not just a temporary thing, it's a way of life.
It is. It's about continuous growth, always getting better.
Exactly. Our journey never really ends. There's always more to learn, more to experience, more to become.
It's about living each day with intention, with purpose, striving to be your best.
And that's a journey we can all take, no matter where we're starting from.
Absolutely. Megaliving, it's not about being perfect. It's about embracing that journey, becoming the best version of you, one step at a time.
All right, let's dive back in. So, Megaliving, it's not just about us. It's about becoming more capable of giving back, connecting with others.
It is. It's like our own growth. It's not just for us. It spreads out, affects the people around us.
And by working on our character, being the best versions of ourselves, we can actually make a difference.
Right. It's about moving away from that scarcity mindset, that feeling of not enough, and seeing that, well, the more you give, the more you get back.
That's a great point. It really shows how everything's connected.
It does. And Sharma, he talks about this in a really cool way with what he calls the law of association.
The law of association. Okay, I like the sound of that. What's it all about?
It's this idea that, well, we become like the people we hang out with the most. Our thoughts, what we believe, even how we act, it's all influenced by the people around us.
So if we want to improve our lives, we need to be around people who inspire us, challenge us to grow.
Exactly. Sharma, he says to be careful about who you're spending time with and to look for people who, have those qualities you admire, the things you want to cultivate in yourself.
I can see how that would make a huge difference, being around positive, supportive people.
Oh, it's huge. And it's not just about who you see in person. It's the books you read, the podcasts, even who you follow on social media.
So it's like creating a positive environment for yourself online and offline.
Yes. You got to be careful what you let in, It all shapes how you think, what you believe, and that shapes your reality.
That's a good reminder to be mindful about who we spend time with and what we're consuming.
For sure. And speaking of being mindful, let's talk about something we touched on before, the gratitude log.
Oh, yeah. Practicing gratitude, how that can change our mindset.
Right. And Sharma, he actually says to make it a daily thing, like a ritual, maybe at the end of the day.
So before bed, just write down a few things you're grateful for.
Exactly. Doesn't have to be big things, Could be a good cup of coffee, a pretty sunset, a friend saying something nice.
I like that. It's easy. Anyone can do it.
Right. And when you do it consistently, it trains your mind to focus on the good stuff, and that affects your whole well-being.
So it's more than just feeling good for a minute. It's about becoming more positive, more appreciative in general.
Yes. And that change in perspective, it's powerful.
Yeah.
When you focus on what you have, not what you're missing, you open yourself up to more joy, more happiness, even more opportunities.
It's like that saying, what you focus on expands.
That's it.
Yeah.
With gratitude, you're choosing to expand the good stuff.
Okay, so we've got surrounding ourselves with good influences, being grateful, making choices that align with our values.
We've talked about those small actions, pushing our boundaries, mind conditioning.
We've gone deep into these three pillars: mental mastery, physical mastery, character mastery, seen how they work together.
And heard some amazing stories, real people using these ideas to get amazing results.
I think we've covered a lot in this deep dive into Megaliving.
We have. It's a book full of wisdom, practical advice for anyone who's ready to, really transform their life.
But before we finish, I want to leave everyone with one last thought.
Go for it.
We've been talking about Megaliving as this 30-day challenge, a program, but what's even more powerful is, well, it's not just a temporary thing, it's a way of living.
You got it. It's a philosophy, always growing, always getting better.
Exactly. It's knowing that we never stop learning, growing, becoming more.
Living each day on purpose, with intention, being the best you can be.
And that's something we can all do, doesn't matter where we're starting.
Absolutely. Mega living, it's not about reaching some perfect ideal, it's about the journey, becoming the best version of yourself step by step.
So to everyone listening, take what you've learned and, well, use it.
Try those practices, the things we talked about.
Push yourselves, get out of your comfort zone.
Those small actions, they can make a big difference.
And never stop learning, growing, changing for the better.
Because mega living, it's not about the destination. It's about the adventure, becoming who you're meant to be.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Megaliving, 30 Days to a Perfect Life. Hopefully it's been helpful, inspiring.
Until next time, keep diving deep, keep striving for your own mega living.